Hello, welcome back. Right, progress. So I've got the seat made, which you can see, that's the side, there's the top. I've mounted a Bobil water tank, so that's mounted in there. I've got a diesel heater to go in there, but I haven't got a 130mm cutter, so I've ordered one off Amazon, so that should be here in the next hour or so. I'm just kind of trying to arrange where everything's going to go. So what we've got is, we've got a heater matrix, we've got a diverter. Now this Bobil tank, it also runs on 240 as well as 12. So I've put a few spur down here so I can isolate it in the future should I need to. So now it's just a case of once the diesel heater's in, I can measure up, because I've got various bits of ducting to go in, T-pieces and whatnot. So my plan is, diesel heater there, that's going to be somewhere roughly around there. This will be here, and then we'll all of our pipe work for the hot and cold water and there. So I might have to mount, I'm going to have accumulator in the back behind this panel I think, and somehow run a duct, one in the shower, one in the garage, and one through here somewhere. But I can't really do that until that's sited, so I can get measurements and things. But I'll take you in the garage and I'll show you. It's pitch black by the way, I'm bloody freezing. Never mind. So in the garage we've got crap everywhere. I'll just knock this radio off because I'll get copyrighted. So you can see there I've got the diesel heater, it's all made up, everything's on the bottom, it's just a case of drilling a hole. So the Bobil kit, that's kind of the setup that you get. So that there is that there is this here. Let me see that better like that. And that's basically how it works there. So you've got your tank, that's the heater matrix that I just showed you in there, that's that valve there, that is that one there, and then it's just a case of running the pipes to various places. Diesel heater wise, there's your diverter valve, and that's the matrix, which is what I've just showed you in the van. So you get everything in this kit. You get the tank, the diesel heater, which is Autoterm, you get various vents, you get a little box with various clips, fittings, taps, speed fit inserts, John Guest, get everything. Another bag of bits there. Sorry about the mess, I've got stuff absolutely everywhere. But yeah, until I get the cutter, I can't really mount the diesel heater, so then I can start measuring things. So probably the next time I jump in I'll have the cutter, I'll have drilled a hole and I'll have mounted the diesel heater, but I'll probably show you that as well, but I'll see you later. So the cutter's eventually turned up. So what I've done is I've just drilled a big hole in my floor, so I'm going to hoover that up and then see if we can get this diesel heater mounted. Hopefully it fits. So diesel heater is sighted, hole drilled, all the gubbins are pushed through. Hope you can see up there. So there's the turret through, air intake, exhaust, fuel pump, fuel line. So what I need to do is seal around that turret plate with fire retardant sealer. I've primed it as well, obviously over the paint so it doesn't rust and stuff. So what I'll do now is I shall seal it. So I'm going to try and put you down somewhere so you can see. I know this is incredibly hard to see, but oh god, this is a nightmare. Oh god, this is where it goes everywhere. Right, that was quite hard to film because of all the stuff that was in the way, but basically I think you get the gist of what I was doing. Put the turret through, I've sealed it with some fire retardant sealer right around it, and then it's just ready for all this bump to get tidied up. So we'll have a little tidy up and then we'll jump back in and we'll get things mounted. Right, still under the van. So far everything's mounted, everything's sealed, air intake fixed to the side, exhaust fixed, and exits down there. So all I've got to do is get these two, fuel line and the fuel pump, over to the side, which is where the fuel tank is. But I think that's for another day because it's -2, I'm lying on the floor and I'm freezing and I can't see a bloody thing, so I might do that tomorrow. Catch you then. Right, so I'm back inside the van now because it's pitch black outside, it's freezing. So diesel heater's mounted there, all the wiring's connected but not connected to power, it's just coiled up out the way. Got the tank in, I've started it's like spaghetti junction in here. I've got stuff everywhere. I'll move these out the way so you can kind of see what's occurring. So you've got your diesel heater, goes into your diverter. Diverter goes down here to your to there. So you've got your cold water going in there. You'll have a hot. We'll have all the other bump. It's probably going to have to go behind here. I'm just trying now to figure out where to put the ducts. So I was thinking I've got a 90mm coming off this here. I was going to put that in the garage to warm the garage up, and then I've reduced it down to 75mm. So I was kind of thinking maybe coming across like that, or like that, I don't know, like that. Put a T-piece in and then continue it down there. I've got a T-piece here, look. And put T-piece in there like that, and I can have a vent coming out of here and then go straight down there and through there and into the shower, I think. But there's a lot going on in here and I haven't got loads and loads of room, so I'll jiggle things round, see what fits and what doesn't fit, and then I'll jump back in. Good morning, it's another day. The weather is actually not too bad today, it's actually stopped raining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this diesel heater connected up to the tank. So if I just take it outside, you can see what I've done. So I've removed the filler cap housing up on that door so you can see better. So that is that there goes on there. Couple of Torx 20s around there and that's it. But I need to take that 10mm out and that 10mm out just so that is allowed to drop with the tank. Take that one out just so the AdBlue pipe can move over, because I ain't taking all that out and you don't really need to. So I'll get on with that and then I'll see you under the van. So I'm under the van, so we need to take that. There's one, I don't know if I can show you, there's one down there somewhere as well, and there's one up there, but it appears that Volkswagen have decided to put some kind of protection around the tank. It wasn't on the earlier crafters, so what I mean by that is these things here. So what I'll have to do is I'll just whip them off and then we'll get moving. Right, I'm under the van. So over there I've got the fuel line and the fuel pump just over that heat shield over there, and I've dropped the tank down here, as you can probably see. So it's quite hard to film here. I don't know if you can actually see in there. If I can try and hold this torch. Oh, hang on a minute. If I put the torch like that, right. So on the top of your tank, this is your sender unit, and about where my finger is there, you've got a yellow nipple. So what you need to do is cut the top of that off and that is where your fuel line connects to. So then somehow we need to mount the fuel pump and the fuel line, not the fuel line, yeah, the fuel pump possibly over there, and obviously the fuel line will come out, but it's quite harder than you think. Anyway, I'll faff on off of that and I'll jump back. Right, so I'm still under the van. Oh God, something in my eye. Everything under here is done. Plumbed into the tank. Got the exhaust down there. There's the turret plate under there. Through here. There's the fuel pump. 30-degree angle. And then it goes down there behind the heat shield. And there is the tank. Just on there. So, all done. So, I think we're ready for testing. And I can get off this freezing cold floor. See you in a sec. Right, so everything's connected, everything's butted up, tidied up, snipped off, all that jazz. I've just booted it up, I've just connected it temporarily to a battery. I've got no DC, anything like that. It's just literally on a battery at the minute. And it seems to be doing its self-test. I've just switched it on, you can see it's flashing there. I think it's just trying to drag the fuel through. So I'll give it 5 minutes and then I'll jump back in and tell you if it's hot. Right, it took 2 or 3, I can't remember now, attempts for it to fire, but it's fired and she's blowing, she's red hot. So that's another job off the list. At least I can kind of use the van now when it's cold, because it's obviously been a bit cold lately, -3s and 4s and whatnot, and we've got to camp out in a few weeks. So although the van's still a tip, it's usable.